He said to me that everyone's...
Fragments, hold on. Base Commander's final statement.
26th of April, 2025. Tell me you didn't see this one coming. Doctor Who Season 2 is continuing on strong, and guys, I think it's time for the run back. From this point on, it is going to be huge spoilers, so if you have not seen Doctor Who Season 2 Episode 3, The Well, maybe consider giving it a watch. It's pretty good. This episode was crazy, and trust me people, I have all the answers. So stay tuned, as I'm going to be breaking down everything and telling you the vital clue that we all missed. Gasp sound effect. The story begins with the Doctor and Belinda immediately thrust into the action, falling below to the planet 6767. The crew they've just joined are on a rescue mission, as a mining colony has gone dark, and the planet is bathed in galvanic radiation. It is cold and lifeless and dead. It is impossible for anything to live on either the surface or below, on the entire planet. Arriving at the mine, they find the place scattered with the bodies of the dead, half killed by gunfire and the other by vicious physical injury. And all the mirrors are broken too. Huh. Going further into the base, the Doctor and co encounter the last remaining survivor, ship's cook Alice Fenley. She tells them that everyone went mad and she had to shoot her best friend in self-defense. All she wants to do is go home. Leaving Belinda to help patch up her graze, the Doctor and Commander Shire head to the titular well. Do you get it, guys? It's called the well. Well. Let that well in. And what they find, it isn't very good. A message left on the computer. It clues them in to what truly happened here. It came from the well. What did? You wanna tell me? They don't know. No one knows. And meanwhile, back with Belinda, there seems to be something behind Alice Fenley. As more details fit into place, the Doctor realizes he's been here before. Carbon. What is carbon? Diamonds. This place was a diamond mine. At one point in history, this whole planet was made of diamonds, and it was called Midnight.
I've been here before.
Jokes aside, how badass was this flashback? They know what they're doing, bruh. They used the money shot. That was tactical, okay? That's the best shot in the whole episode. Anyway, running back to Belinda, the Doctor tries to get a bead on the situation, and Belinda explains that there is something behind Alice. The rules are simple. It's like a clock face. You die at midnight. Did I mention I love this episode? Anyway, Cassio Watch over here, get it, goes on a rampage and ends up killing all his own red shirt in an attempt to... Actually, I don't know what he thought he was gonna do. But oh wait, he's dead. Not a huge loss, but alas, rest in peace, Mr. Buzzkill. In a last-ditch effort, the Doctor tries to negotiate with the creature, who whispers to him from Alice's back and reveals that it knows the Doctor's real name. But it also exposed its weakness, as the Doctor creates a wall of mercury behind the creature to reflect itself onto itself, supposedly killing it and giving the Doctor and co an opportunity to run away and escape. Hooray! But no, the creature catches back up with them and attaches itself to Belinda. No, not Belinda, we need her. So Commander Shire takes one for the team and takes the entity onto herself and jumps backwards somersault right into the well. She's doing a trick shot on it, bringing it back down with her 5 miles deep. The Doctor and Belinda return to the TARDIS, and Mo returns to her spaceship, where it's revealed that the entity itself also made its way onto her back. The creature from the well has escaped. And so that's where it ends. The end of the episode. Or so it seems. Stick around, folks, because by the end of this video, I promise you that I will have provided a different perspective on the story that will completely transform your understanding of it. And you know what? I am so certain of this that not only do I promise that I will do this once, I promise that I will do it twice. So hear me out, folks, because this one gets crazy. The entity from the well is the same beast as the entity from Midnight, but over 400,000 years in the future. In my previous video, I accurately determined what the creature was, so if you want to check that one out, don't bother, because I'm just gonna say it all here again. But anyway, the entity is an immortal and undying parasite. It connects to a host's body and then learns everything it can from them. It is a highly adaptable and psychic creature that influences not only its host, but everyone and everything around it. If you've ever wondered why the crew in Midnight are so quick to throw the Doctor under the bus at the slightest provocation, it's because it's a social commentary on the human condition, but also because that same whispering present in this episode was also heard there. That's not a joke, that's true. It burrows into the minds of everyone around it. But the big thing that we learned from this episode is that it is entirely malevolent. Whereas before there was some plausible deniability, now we know for a fact that it is evil. It enjoys playing and it enjoys toying with its prey. And that is clear from the outset, by the way. If you don't know the inspiration for the Midnight creature, it's all based on this childish game of repeating. Rusty Davies said that this is a thing that all children do, they mimic. And it always annoys you. It does, it really does. You ever been in a conversation where it's like, go to bed, eat your vegetables, Shit pisses you off, bruh. There's something in there about taking your words' powers away from you. But similarly, this time around, the game has changed to hide and seek. Yes, hide and seek, folks. I don't actually mind this change. Not only does it provide something unique that sets this episode apart from its predecessor and just turns it into an objective downgrade, it provides a new and unique angle that keeps the mythos fresh whilst also making complete sense. We saw how just over the course of 20 minutes, the Midnight creature adapted unbelievably fast. And with over 400,000 years worth of evolution, I mean, definitely it would have picked up a few things, including a physical form. Similarly to last week's Lux, actually, the well entity has learned perspective. It now looks like this, which is actually not too dissimilar to how it looked in Midnight. Contrary to popular belief, you can actually see the original creature in Midnight. Not once it's made it into the ship, by the way, but earlier in the episode, when one of the ship's drivers sees it, you can quite make it out. Look, if you're having trouble, you can always go back and watch at 2.5 times speed. But not only has the entity had 400,000 years worth of evolution, it has also been in this base for 15 days. 15 days! It was in the buzz for 20 minutes. Given what we know about this creature and how fast it evolves, it only makes sense that it would have gotten rather good at it by now. But speaking of which, has anyone else noticed how contradictory Alice Fenley's story is? She was on this base for 15 days all by herself, and yet her wound is still fresh. Not only that, why would she not explain the situation immediately? It's the first thing I would do. Maybe it's just an error in the writing. Except, oh, that is definitely 4 people being read on the airlock scanner when only 3 people are inside. See for yourself. Right at the end of the episode, 7 people, they specifically call that out. 3 of them get into the airlock. 4 of them stay outside. 3 inside, seriously, I checked from every angle, and yet 4 on the scanner. There are 4 creatures in that airlock. That is an objective fact. And so, with that said, what if I told you, and this is not a bet, this is not a joke, it is a serious, genuine hypothesis, that Alice Fenley, as we knew her, was dead for the entirety of this episode. Now I get it, there is an element of this theory that I don't want to be true. I found the deafness of the story's use of deafness incredibly touching and one of the most profound, heartfelt and compelling emotive elements of the story. Thematically, so much is there to make us sympathetic to Alice's plight, and not only that, the actress in real life is absolutely brilliant and immensely charming. everything about this character and their role in the story is screaming that they are innocent. And that is not the case. I struggle to find any other reading for what we objectively see with our own eyes in this episode. This airlock sequence is the nail in the coffin, but if you go back and reverse engineer, the signs are there from the very beginning. One of the first things they say is that they can't hear a heartbeat when they first enter the base. They specifically called that out. And later on, as if hearing that they mentioned that, they hear a heartbeat. Alice is positioned so particularly in the room and has an injury. It's almost like she died there. The plausible deniability is that because Alice is deaf, she cannot hear the creature whispering, which is what supposedly drove everyone else insane. And for the record, I don't think Alice is acting either. I think she genuinely believes her own story. But every single one of her actions is in the creature's best interest. Her first thought, her first instinct upon seeing strangers is to beg to be taken home, to leave this place. She knows it's on her, by the way. She doesn't tell them about anything, specifically leaving out the whispering or the entity or all of the stuff that killed everyone else. And we know that she knows it. She is the one who explains it later on, after all. But her main tell, the main giveaway, is the fact that she contradicts herself a hell of a lot. She says that there's nothing behind her. Then that there is something behind her. She simultaneously knows exactly how it all works and nothing at all. And of course, when Cassio goes on his killing spree, she knows that she's killing people, but she still goes along with it anyway. She could have saved everyone by not moving, but it's almost like she's intentionally trying to whittle them down as much as possible. And then of course, we have to talk about that ending. Listen to that sound cue, man. Listen to that. Is that the sound cue of a happy escape? Is that a happy sound cue? Who the hell are we kidding? That is the scariest shit of all time. But I hear you all saying, how could the entity still remain on her if we knew that it was also on Belinda at the same time? But what if I told you that this entity can replicate itself? Because yes, there are most definitely two entities by the end. But what if? Just hear me out, guys. What if I told you there were three?
It's not me. It really isn't me, it really isn't.
Oh, it is so totally on her. It definitely jumped on Mo's back as well. Similarly how the Midnight Entity controlled both the Doctor and Skye at the same time. The entity can split itself in a form of asexual reproduction. And if I want to go really crazy with this theory, I could say that this is because the 15th Doctor spoke to it and he's the one who did bigeneration. Okay. Maybe I'm getting a bit too overexcited. That is heavily reading into it. But that's what we do on this channel, folks. Don't forget to leave a like. And we know by the end that it is definitely on Mo's back, even hearing the whisper to confirm it. We know it was also on Belinda's because she heard the whispering. So at that point, there are two entities in the room, one outside with Alice, and then eventually one left behind in the well. So either way, it's definitely splitting, okay? But the Doctor and Belinda managed to make their way back, and the fate of the Midnight Entity is left unknown. Or is it? You guys know I had to have one last plot twist. Because whether you agree with me or not on whether Alice Fenley was dead the whole time, this last one is a real doozy. And I genuinely believe it to be true. What we are looking for is an ambiguous creature with no real identity that's whole purpose is to adapt to its surroundings. It's a parasite. Parasite. Hang on. Where have I heard that before? Parasite. Wild Blue Yonder. Boom! Ironically enough, before this story, we managed to get both its prequel and its sequel, both starring David Tennant as the Doctor. The Not Things are the Midnight Entity, or should I say, a heavily evolved version of the Well Entity, having taken on its final form. The ultimate mimicry. They're both parasites, they're both highly adaptable, they both can live in inhospitable environments, but this is the detail that took this from coincidence to definite conclusion. The Not Thing's sole motivation is war. It heard the wars, the human wars, that stuff of legend, that cry, that pain stretched out so far into the universe that it reached even them. And they want to bring it back. they want to mimic it. That is the purpose of the Not Things, and also just so happens to be exactly what happened to Midnight. During the war, the planet was stripped bare. The planet, already inhospitable, uninhabitable, was destroyed, stricken by warfare, and the creature, the well entity, escaped on board a military vessel. A military vessel that could very well end up at the edge of the universe. And this wouldn't be the first time. Remember Villain Guard? First mentioned in the Doctor Dances, these villains have been popping up all over the place in the 15th Doctor's run, which is strange because we know what happens to them. Boom takes place at the height of their popularity, artificially creating a war against nothing, simply to boost its sales margins. Joy to the World sees its origins, where it goes back in time with the Starseed to create its own power source, and inadvertently creates Christianity, which goes on to become the Anglican Marines that we then end up seeing buying from Villain Guard in Boom. And of course, to tie it all together with a nice neat bow, in that first story, the Doctor Dances, we hear what happened to them. The very end. Before we even see what they are. The Doctor went there once and burned it all to the ground. There's a banana menagerie there now. So you see, this sort of backwards storytelling isn't new for Doctor Who at all. In fact, it's almost a staple of this era. But still, is Alice Fenley dead? Is The Well a prequel to Wild Blue Yonder? How many versions of the creature were there? Let me know what you guys thought in the comment section down below. Thank you all for 26,000 subscribers. And with the rest of season 2 on the horizon, may I ask, I feel like I've got to. Can we do it? The end goal for the year is 30,000 subscribers, but screw waiting. If you guys want to be along for the ride, don't forget to click below to subscribe to the official DW Fan 91 YouTube channel. And let's see if we can make it to 30,000 subscribers before the end of the season. Is it possible? Probably not, but I'm gonna go all out to try and make it a reality. Boom! Give me 5 big booms, people. Every single one of you have been so supportive of both me and the YouTube channel, so I think it is my duty to push forward and go all out. We are going to be having the craziest videos of all time for the rest of the season, so don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to click below, and to every single one of you on the Discord, the channel memberships, the Patreons, this one's for you, gamers. And a special thanks to everyone who helps support the channel. I'll leave the rest to you. Tom, Cardboard Oracle, Silver Safi, Bonnie, Zoom, Dr. Hoomst, Jack Dean Murray, Vorscom, The Instinct, Kai Keller, Renegade Time Lord 97, Manny, Eric, Ren, Poop Criminal, Diego, Theta, Dark Tranquil, Chicky, No More Flippin', Sick Dr. Fan 84, Comfy Glitch X, Harry, Sanyu, Christian Rothfuss, Unreal Dinnerbone, Aidan Davies, Reef Edwards, Space, Amber Knight, KC, Snurley, Connor Bell, Ertle the Turtle, Andrew Locke, Bill Fleming, Hush, Wasabi, Jessica, Kai M, Kylo Wade, Mel, Owen, Toby-Wan Kenobi, Sophie in the Sky, Goldfish, Johnny, Anthony, Kustretch, Just Him, and Teddy Bite. And with all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye bye.